Condon's loss in his bid for re-election as a congressman doesn't mean he won't keep his pledge to help investigators find their missing daughter. Condon lost the primary election last night in California. He has admitted to an affair with the intern, but denies involvement in her disappearance. Chandra's parents say that they don't care how the election turned out.
We are not involved in the campaign. We are parents, and we're only concerned about finding our daughter, Chandra.
And I'm going to work hard the remaining time that I have there and do everything that I can do to make the Valley a better place to be.
Condon lost the election to a former aide of his, State Assemblyman Dennis Cardozo.
Coming up next on 7 News at 11. Want to switch your cell phone service, but hate the hassle of getting a new number?
I found it very inconvenient.
It was a hassle.
Soon you may be able to change carriers without changing your number. The solution to this cell phone hang-up. That's just minutes away on 7 News.
It's a popular device that promises to stimulate your abs into shape. Tonight, the federal government cracks down on the claim.
New research shows a common fertility procedure could cause birth defects.
An apple a day may keep the doctor away, but what can breakfast help ward off?
Getting into that kind of pattern now where it's going to be very different in terms of temperature depending on where you live. The tricky temperature forecast is straight ahead.
Only on 7, Sox ace Pedro Martinez sounds off on the firing of Joe Kerrigan.
I'm not surprised, to be honest.
Hear what else Pedro has to say ahead in 7 Sports.
And the walls come tumbling down in Foxborough. Details on the demolition still to come.
Wall Street today, the Dow rallied to finish up more than 140 points, closing at 10,574. The Nasdaq up as well, more than 24 points to end the day at 1890.
Tomorrow morning on Today in New England.
I'm Francis Rivera. And I'm Sean Hennessy. The fierce fighting overseas continues. We'll have all the overnight developments from Operation Anaconda.
Plus, Salt Lake City's other winter games. The Olympics may have come and gone, but there are other athletes going for the gold.
Plus, Todd Gross is in with the forecast.
And we'll check in with Wall Street.
That's tomorrow morning on Today in New England.
Beginning at 5.
7 News is brought to you in part by Canon, with thousands of products and one simple idea, giving people know-how.
With document distribution from Canon, you can send a document to different locations instantly. Print it in one office, email it to another, and send volumes somewhere else, all at the same time. Hey, welcome to the new office. It's business accelerated.
I'm going to be late for my own wedding.
No worries. My new Subaru Outback's more stable in a turn than a Lexus RX 300. Gets better gas mileage than a Ford Explorer. And like every Subaru, has the added traction of all-wheel drive.
Subaru Outback, the world's first sport utility wagon.
The rugged outdoorsy type. Nice choice.
NewEnglandSubaru.com, America's lowest priced all-wheel drive vehicles.
Spell microphone.
M-I-C?
K-Y.
M-O-U-S-E.
Mickey Mouse.
Forever let us hold our banner high, 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 high.
You were the first Disney generation. Now come be a kid again at our spectacular year-long tribute to Walt's 100th birthday. Call 1407-W-DISNEY.
Bruins legend Cam Neely is taking on a very tough opponent. Cam and his family are working with Tufts New England Medical Center, helping thousands fight cancer today. And with your help, the Neely Cancer Fund gives new hope for a cure tomorrow. Tufts New England Medical Center and its floating hospital for children.
Best when you need it most.
Tonight, Jay's all new with Ron Howard. Plus, go jaywalking and the crocodile hunter Steve Irwin. Then Conan's all new with Jeremy Irons tonight.
This is 7 News with Randy Price and Caterina Bandini. Harvey Leonard with weather. And Gene Levangie with sports on the news station. Switching cell phone service means you lose your number.
No such a pain. Every time I got a new number, I had to let everybody know.
And the phone companies are fighting a call for change.
Well, when it comes to wireless plans, we all want the best deal.
Making a switch can be a hassle. 7's Francis Rivera takes a look at efforts to fix this cell phone hang-up.
Everywhere we turn, cell phone ads, luring us with low rates, thousands of minutes, better reception.
It's extremely competitive.
Getting those low rates may mean changing from one cell phone provider to another, which many say can be painful.
I got charged $175 for early termination.
The number wouldn't work, then I had to change it again and again.
One of the biggest changes everyone makes when changing from one provider to another is the phone number itself.
I've thought of switching many times, but the reason I haven't done it is because I'll have to switch cell phone numbers.
Cape Cod software engineer Alan Marriott has had the same cell phone provider for 7 years. Marriott's number ends in 3 zeros.
Mine is very easy to remember.
He says changing numbers would be a major hang-up.
It could mean printing up new business cards, printing up new stationery, just a whole myriad of problems.
So he stays with his same provider, but the FCC may be changing all that. The Federal Communications Commission has mandated that all cell phone providers allow consumers to take their old cell phone numbers with them if consumers choose a new provider. It's something called number portability, and it's set to take effect in November. But one cell phone service provider filed a petition with the FCC requesting that number portability never be implemented. All major carriers backed the petition. The reason? Cost, which they say will be passed on to consumers.
The estimate that carriers have put on the cost for number portability would be about $900 million, so about, almost $1 billion to implement the portability, and then about $500 million a year after that to maintain it. It's a massive change in the technology.
Frankly, we think that some companies are overstating the costs so they don't have to do it.
Consumers Union spokesperson David Butler says without number portability, competition is nearly non-existent.
That's a way that cell phone companies hang on to their customers by making it virtually impossible for you to take your old number over to a competitor.
Honestly, because it's so competitive, carriers really do want to please their customers.
Right now, the FCC is reviewing the cell phone company's petition as well as public comments on cell phone number portability. They are expected to make a decision on this issue next month. In the newsroom, Francis Rivera, 7 News.
On a quest to build some fab abs, the Federal Drug Administration tonight is looking to tighten the belt on a popular abdominal exerciser. The agency claims those electronic belts and patches that promise to stimulate abs into shape are medical devices and need to be FDA approved. Manufacturers, of course, disagree, saying they're exercise equipment. Regardless, many researchers have questioned whether these ab machines really work. Most studies are inconclusive.
In 7 Healthcast tonight, millions of couples turn to in vitro fertilization to have a child, but there is some new research that shows that that could be causing birth defects. Australian researchers are now saying in vitro can double the risk of birth defects. Many local doctors say they're not convinced of these findings, and the absolute numbers of birth defects are still quite low.
For 9% of the children born from IVF to have birth defects just doesn't match with our own clinical experience here in Boston. So there is that discrepancy that I do not fully understand.
Doctors also say the risk found in the study could be tied to other factors such as the age of the mother. If your child suffers from hyperactivity, researchers are testing a new drug now to treat that. It's called atomoxetine, and the FDA is reviewing it now. Doctors prescribe Ritalin at this point for ADHD patients, but many parents don't want their children using Ritalin because it is a stimulant. Atomoxetine targets a different chemical that sends messages to the brain, and doctors say with this drug there is no threat of addiction. And it seems eating breakfast can do more than jumpstart your day. New research suggests the morning meal may actually help prevent colds. A British study found that those who suffered from 1 or more colds during a 10-week period were less likely to eat breakfast than those who stayed healthy. Doctors also suggest drinking orange juice and tomato juice in the morning to help boost the immune system.
Now, time for 7 Weather with Chief Meteorologist Harvey Leonard.
You know, March is often known as the fickle month, the changeable month. From day to